There's a reason why the deep woods remain unexplored, why whispers of lost campers and shadowy figures linger in the quiet rustle of leaves. Tonight, we're diving into 3 real-life horror stories from the darkest corners of the forest, where the line between reality and nightmare blurs. But beware. The last story is the most chilling of all. If you think you're brave enough, stay with us until the end. You might just find out why some trails should never be followed, and why, in the forest, you're never truly alone. Camping in the deep woods is supposed to be an escape from the city, from technology, from the noise of everyday life. But sometimes, the forest holds secrets, and sometimes, those secrets don't want you to leave. Ben says, "Come on, Lisa. How many marshmallows are you going to roast? We only brought 2 bags." Lisa replies, "Hey, I'm carb loading. You guys are going to regret it when I'm the only one with energy tomorrow." Mark says, "Well, if we get lost, at least we'll have enough marshmallows to bribe the rescue team." The group had been planning this trip for weeks, a chance to disconnect and explore a stretch of forest that few people ventured into. They'd hiked all afternoon to reach a spot far from the main trails, surrounded by nothing but trees and the soft murmur of a nearby stream. It was perfect, or so they thought. The first sign of trouble came as they sat by the fire, a rustling sound just beyond the glow of the flames. Ben brushed it off as an animal, maybe a raccoon or a deer, but then the whispering started. Lisa says, "Did you hear that?" Ben responds, "It's probably the wind." Mark adds, "No, it sounded like voices." They only sounded the crackling of the fire, but the whispers continued, soft, unintelligible, like a conversation just out of earshot. Lisa shivered, pulling her blanket tighter around her shoulders. Ben says, "Let's check it out. Make sure it's not someone messing with us." They ventured away from the safety of the campfire, their flashlights creating harsh, unnatural shadows. The forest seemed to swallow the light, every tree a looming figure. And still, the whispers grew louder. Lisa says, "Did you see that? There's someone out there." Mark urges, "We need to go back, now." They ran, the forest seeming to twist around them. Every step echoed, every breath a sharp rasp. When they finally reached the campfire, the flames had died down to embers. Their campsite was different. Ben exclaims, "What the hell happened here?" They didn't wait to find out. Abandoning their gear, they grabbed their backpacks and sprinted through the woods, following the trail markers back to their car. But the whispers followed them, growing louder, clearer. They reached the car as dawn began to break, but as they pulled away, Ben glanced in the rearview mirror and saw them. Figures standing just at the edge of the trees, watching, waiting. The friends never returned to the woods. They never spoke about what happened that night. But sometimes, when the wind is just right, Ben swears he can still hear them, the whispers, calling his name. There's a reason why some forests remain unexplored, why locals avoid certain paths, and why legends are born. This story isn't just about getting lost. It's about being watched, hunted, and escaping something you can't quite see, but you know is there. Ethan and his older brother Sam had been hiking in the pines of Washington state for years. It was their tradition, a weekend away from the chaos of city life, just 2 brothers and the wild. They had explored countless trails, set up camp under the stars, and shared ghost stories around countless fires. But nothing had prepared them for what they would encounter on their last trip. Ethan says, "Dude, this place is amazing. I feel like we're the only people on the planet right now." Sam replies, "That's the point, little bro. No people, no problems." They decided to venture off the beaten path, following a deer trail that led deeper into the woods. The further they went, the quieter it became. No birds, no wind. Just the soft crunch of their boots on pine needles and the distant rush of a river. As the sun began to set, they found a small clearing and set up camp. The fire crackled, sending sparks into the cool night air. Everything seemed normal, until they heard it. Ethan asks, "Did you hear that?" Sam responds, "Probably just an animal. Relax." They tried to brush it off, but the sounds continued. Twigs snapping, leaves rustling, footsteps. Slow and deliberate. Circling their camp. Sam shone his flashlight into the trees, the beam cutting through the fog, but there was nothing. Nothing they could see anyway. They decided to take turns keeping watch. Ethan stayed up first, his back to the fire, his eyes scanning the trees. Hours passed. His eyelids grew heavy, and just as he began to drift off, he saw them. Ethan whispers, "Sam, Sam, wake up." Sam asks, "What is it? What's wrong?" But when Sam turned to look, the figures were gone. The forest was empty, the shadows still. He thought Ethan was dreaming, the fear playing tricks on his mind. But Ethan knew what he had seen. He could still feel their eyes on him. The reenactment continues. The brothers decide to pack up and leave. They extinguish the fire, their hands trembling, their breath visible in the cold air. But as they start down the trail, the forest begins to close in around them. The path twisted and turned, unfamiliar and endless. Their flashlight batteries began to fade, the darkness creeping closer. And then, the whispers started. Ethan says, "This isn't real. It can't be real." Morning came, but the sun did not. The forest remained dark, the sky hidden. Their phones had no signal. Their food was gone. And the figures were closer, standing just beyond the trees, their mouths moving in silent chants. The brothers were never found. Rangers discovered their campsite weeks later, the tents still set up, the fire pit cold. But no signs of Ethan or Sam, only their camera half buried in the dirt, the last footage showing the figures stepping into the clearing, and the brothers' terrified screams. Some places are forgotten for a reason. The deep woods of Montana are one of those places. Locals call it the Quiet, not because it's peaceful, but because nothing returns from it, not even the sound of your own voice. 3 friends, Nina, Josh, and Amber, decided to spend a weekend camping far from civilization. They were experienced hikers, always chasing the thrill of the unknown. They had heard the stories about the Quiet, but to them it was just another adventure, another chance to conquer the wild. But what they didn't know was that this forest had its own rules. Nina, "Guys, we're gonna have the best campfire stories after this. I mean, who else do we know that's been this deep in the woods?" Josh, "Documenting our epic adventure. Say hi, Amber." Amber, "Hi. If we get lost, this footage is going to be our Blair Witch moment." They hiked for hours, the trail long forgotten by other explorers. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the woods took on a different character. Shadows stretched and twisted, and the once vibrant forest turned into a labyrinth of darkness. Amber, "Did you guys notice how quiet it got? I mean, like, really quiet." Nina, "Yeah, I was just thinking that. Where are all the animals?" Josh, "Maybe they know something we don't." The silence pressed against them, heavy and unnatural. And then, from the darkness, a sound. A soft, rhythmic tapping, like fingers on wood. Tap, tap, tap. Amber, "What is that?" Josh, "Probably just a tree branch. I'll check it out." Josh moved toward the edge of the clearing, his flashlight beam cutting through the mist. The camera followed him, its lens capturing the moment his light revealed a figure, pale, motionless, staring. Josh, "Oh my God. Guys, there's someone out here." Panic set in. They grabbed their bags and ran, the fire forgotten, their campsite left behind. But the forest, it had changed. Every path led back to the clearing. Every turn brought them face to face with that same tree, that same tapping. Nina, "No, this isn't real. It can't be real." But it was real, and as the mist closed in, so did the figures. Their hands reached out, cold and skeletal, pulling the friends into the darkness. One by one, the tapping grew fainter until silence. When search parties went into the woods, they found nothing. No tents, no bodies, just an eerie quiet and a forest that seemed to watch them. They say if you listen closely, you can still hear it, the tapping. And if you follow it, you'll join them, the lost ones. And there you have it. 3 terrifying tales from the deep, dark woods. These stories remind us that the forest holds secrets, and not all who wander will find their way back. Whether it's the whispers in the dark, the watchers among the pines, or the lost souls tapping for eternity. Sometimes the wilderness keeps what it claims. If these stories sent a chill down your spine, make sure to hit that like button and let us know in the comments which story haunted you the most. Was it the shadows of the whispering woods, the eerie figures in the watchers in the pines, or the bone-chilling truth of the lost ones? Don't forget to subscribe to the 6th frequency for more spine-tingling stories, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a video that keeps you up at night. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and if you find yourself in the woods, keep to the path and never, ever look back.